Hello to all ASMR lovers, welcome and welcome back. So here it is, the ghosting theme video that I mentioned before in my community post. So I bring this idea because I think it's quite unique or creative. I have never seen any ASMR video that using this theme, especially for Halloween. And another reason is I think like many of creators bring the real ghost story. Why not I bring this kind of theme? Yeah, they like a ghost. They disappear, but they still alive. So yeah, why not I use this theme for this Halloween. So the first part of this video I will read the stories, and the second part I will give you an advice or suggestion. So it could be for anyone who have been ghosted. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for this video, I will give you 4 stories. The first 2 are from my subscribers. They share their story through my email. And the last 2 are my stories. So let's get to the first story. So the first story. Hi Tika. I wouldn't say this is a particularly scary story. More sad, but I made an online friend this year in April, and we basically talk every day. And we both sort of got attached and got feelings for each other. So after a lot of back and forth joking and flirting, I finally asked them to date me. So we did, for about a week. Now it's important to add that our friendship was unstable to begin with, to be honest. We had a few bumps before we started quote-unquote dating. So I'm not sure what outcome I expected, but they obviously got overwhelmed and stopped responding and started ghosting me. I felt very upset, not only because of that specific thing, but also because we had discussed that same issue. Them leaving me undelivered or read multiple times, and they refused to listen. It was beyond my boundaries to just keep letting them do that, and even though it might have been a bad decision, I blocked them everywhere out of frustration. I felt like I was constantly chasing them around trying to get them to tell me their feelings. And quite honestly, that feeling was very familiar to me from past toxic relationships with other people. That was my breaking point and my reasoning. It's been a few weeks since that happened, maybe over a month. We still haven't talked and I have zero contact with them. I hope they will grow up here and finally message me, because I need to explain what my thoughts were, and also I need to hear their thoughts. Thank you, Anonymous. So yeah, that was the first story. Ghosting will never feel right. It's always make people wondering what happened with them, what did they do wrong, something like that. So yeah, let's continue to the second story. The second story is interesting because if the first story was from someone that have been ghosted, the second story is about someone who did the ghosting. So yeah, we will get from both perspectives. It's interesting. So, the second story. I once ghosted my best friend. Suddenly disappeared, unfriended all of their social media. Didn't answer when I was asked by message, I blocked them. A year later, when I felt I was ready, I reached back. They didn't answer my messages right away. Of course, they said they were surprised and disappointed with what I did. It made them wonder what they had done wrong. Honestly, they didn't do anything wrong. Why am I ghosting? Because I don't want to be with them at the moment. I didn't choose them to be with me through all my experiences at that time. First, because I think they won't be strong mentally to listen to all my problems, and also don't want to bother them with my life being torn apart at that time. And the second reason was because I just want to be alone, disconnect from people around me. And why did I come back? Because I love them and they are my best friend for years. And the main factor I came back was because I was ready to go back. Years later, I feel like I want to live again because I want to fix my life. That time, I gave permission. I didn't ghosting them like before. I wrote a message and said, I hope they don't get angry because I chose to stay away first and only for a moment. Yeah, I think it's better like that. Because I already knew that I needed to be alone again. They were upset a bit at first, but fortunately they understand eventually. That's all my story. Thanks for letting me sharing this. Thank you. See, like I said before, when someone ghosted you, it's not about you. It's totally about them. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with them. The second story was from someone who did the ghosting. So yeah, I think we can learn from their story. The second story from someone who did the ghosting. They admit that there was nothing wrong with their friend, but yeah, it's just all about them with their problems. So okay, it's my turn. So before I share my story, I just want to tell you that I wrote these stories on a note in my phone, so I will read from here. But yes, this is my own story, so I'm not read people's story. This is real, my own story from my own experience. So here it is. My first story. I was ghosted by one of my close friends. Yeah, I said close friend, not best friend, because we were close enough, but we didn't talk every day or often. But yes, we can talk a lot sometimes. We also share our stories or secret as well. So I think close friend is more suitable term for them. Our friendship started with business. She was one of my client at first, one of my loyal client actually. We live not too far, but we never met in person for almost 3 years. Just talking a lot by chat, sometimes by call. Sounds crazy, I know, or weird, but yes, I believe friendship or even relationship can be built from anywhere. Distance doesn't matter. If both sides has same intention and effort, it will work. So, back to the story. Long story short, one day we decided to travel together in our birthday month. Yes, we have same month for birthday and the date are just 2 days difference. So we did. That was the first time we met in person and we had a fun holiday for a week. After we back home, she started disappeared, not posting often in her Instagram, never texts me again. I was trying to text her once or twice. She answered, but really short, and didn't ask me any question back. So after that, I stopped to reach out to her. So I can say she ghosting for around 2 months or even more. I forget how long exactly. That made me wondering like, did I do something wrong when holiday? Or because it was our first time met, I also thought like, does she not like me in person? So after a few months, she suddenly came back. She chatted me first. I finally asked her what happened, and her answer was actually kinda surprised me. So it was because she got new boyfriend. Yes, a new boyfriend who really toxic. So he was the reason why. So she disconnect herself to minimize the fight with him. What more sad is she realized how toxic he is, but she still choose stay in that relationship. So what can I say? I already gave many advice to her. I know their problems because she told me sometime when they had a fight, when they had argue, but still she stays. Well, at least she's not ghosting anymore. And since then, I know the reason why she become not so often anymore to communicate. So yeah, that was my first ghosting story. So the second story of me being ghosted was come from another ASMR artist. So yeah, here's the story. The next ghosting happened just a few months ago. It came from another ASMR artist. So they are a new ASMR artist too, but they started earlier than me. I really love their content. I left some comment in their videos and told how I love it. So one day I thought to ask them for a collab. I reached out first and they said yes. We were so excited and discussed about it, sharing and combine our ideas. Even they gave me the detailed ideas for our content. So I let them know every progress I made, like when I was about to filming, when I was done and still in editing, but they didn't reply my two last email. When they didn't reply the first one, I still thought like, oh, maybe they are busy. So I just wait and try to send once again when I finish the video and send it to them. But I don't get any reply at all until now. Well, again, ghosting made me wondering why. But I think now I get better in response to ghosting. I mean, yes, there's still some questions inside my mind like, why they do this? Did I say or do something wrong? But I have learned that when someone ghosting, it's their problem, not mine. So I don't need to question myself a lot about this and let them go and move on. So yeah, for me, a ghosting can be worse and more scary than a real ghost. If you're haunted by a real ghost, you just need to an exorcism, then they're gone. After they're gone, it makes you relieve and relax. But if you're haunted by a ghosting, by someone who ghosting you, there's nothing can get rid that out of your minds unless you fully accept it and move on. Unfortunately, many people feel so hard to do that, and I really understand. They become so frustrated and it can ruin someone's mental health. Ghosting always makes a person wondering themselves, even wondering their worth. It even really can leading to mental breakdown, I think. So, for you who have been ghosted, let me tell you something. I just want you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. Believe me, you didn't do anything wrong. And there's nothing wrong with you. Don't let this ghosting makes you wondering your self-worth. No, never, never. It's just all about them with their own problem, and they who not brave enough to tell you why the reason directly to you face to face or just talking to you by phone. That's all their problem. The point is, it's their problem. It's not your fault. So if you're still wondering why and feel like you need a closure for this, let me try to tell you this. I hope it can help you to get more release, or at least try to let them go and move on. Okay, remember this. No response is a response. No answer is an answer. So, no closure is a closure that you're looking for. So, if someone ghosted you, just respect the death and never look back. Because, however, you both are already in two different worlds. And if they come back, if you want to listen to their reason, well, it's okay. It's up to you. But even if the reason was make sense to you, still you have right to not accept them back. Yes, that's your right. Don't ever let someone can come and go into your life as they want, as when they comfort with. If they choose to be a ghost, let them be. Let them rest in peace. And I hope it can help you to try to let them go and move on with your life. Life must go on, right? So thank you for listening to this video and the stories, especially my stories. I hope it relaxes you or a bit entertaining. And I hope you have a good day, you have a good night. See you again in my next videos, and bye.